channel community? Jeff is in the house. I'm back. I'm going to do a quick video on some prize winnings and a couple of new items that came in. I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone here. A couple weeks ago, Beth over at Miss 80s Movies and Music. That's a mouthful. Miss 80s Movies and Music. Beth had a contest, Christmas-based type contest that we did, like I said, a couple weeks ago, and I won. Oddly enough, I didn't. Somehow, I didn't see. It was a crazy week when the contest ended. It was a crazy weekend. It's been crazy recently, but I missed the actual contest drawing, and she actually had to alert me like 4 days later. You might want to watch my latest video. So. Anyway, you know, sometimes you miss these things. I should have, I've been trying to mark contest entries on my calendar so they would pop up to remind me. And so that reminded me I needed to do that. And so a couple of the other recent contest entries I marked on my calendar. So now I at least know the day that they're supposed to end. But anyway, let's get into this. I won this. And if you're not familiar with the channel, which I'm sure you are, she's been around way longer than me. And even though she's changed her name a couple of times, come on, everybody loves her channel and her stuff. And of course, I'm a big fan because I am Mr. 80s. Call me that. I mean, the 80s are my time too. And while she covers a lot more than just music, that's the prime of my life. That's when I got into music. That's when I got, all the 80s movies influence our dialogue. I mean, I remember, in the mid 80s, I went in the military, and I just remember almost all of my friends, almost all the silly quotes that we had came from movies. Things like Weird Science and Breakfast Club and The Golden Child later on. But there were so many movies, and of course the Eddie Murphy, HBO comedy. Just there were so many things from the 80s that were just a part of our culture, our life. The idioms we use, if you want to say, just the language. But yeah, love the 80s. And so the prize winnings were a couple great albums. And so we got the Elf soundtrack. Absolutely one of my favorite movies. It became a classic and is now just ingrained into our culture for sure. And of course, a lot of the music on here is from all over. But you've got, it's one of my favorite songs is "The Baby It's Cold Outside." I think Zooey Deschanel she's just an absolute charm. She's beautiful eyes, beautiful girl. And honestly, I kind of always thought that was actually, him singing it, that Will Ferrell was singing it, but it's not. It's Leon Redbone and Zoe, which I knew she could sing. I've seen her music and stuff. So, but you got that kind of stuff. Eddie Arnold, that's a classic, Billy Preston, Brian Setzer. I mean, come on, the Brian Setzer Orchestra. His stuff is amazing, but it's just a great album. I haven't yet opened it yet. It's a Walmart on blue, but I am thrilled to have that. Excited. And this one, while I am a fan of the 80s, I'm 100% fan of everything on here. This album is definitely in my wife's wheelhouse because she is the 80s pop side, whereas I'm the 80s, hard rock and metal. But absolutely love all of this stuff. Now that's what I call decade of the 80s. Double record set. I mean, you've got George Michael and the Eurythmics, Simple Minds, John Mellencamp, The Clash, Duran Duran, Tears for Fears, Survivor, Rick Springfield, Wang Chung, Aha, Billy Idol, In Excess, The Bangles, Daryl Hall & Oates, we call them, Toto, Foreigner, and Journey. Now, I will say, in the 80s, when this type of music would come on MTV, we were big. We were the first MTV generation. And I would admit, when those type of songs came on MTV, we would flip the channel. While we appreciated it, they played this stuff ad nauseum. It was like, if I ever had to hear Simple Minds again or Aha, those videos were played to death. Now, in my older age, I appreciate them and I buy those types of albums. I can't say I've owned any Simple Minds albums or any of those, but definitely Hall & Oates, Toto. I didn't mention Toto. Journey, In Excess. How did I miss Billy Idol, In Excess? I missed those somehow. The Bangles. Those type of bands I very much appreciate them now, more so than I did in the 80s. But yeah, my wife definitely is going to make me play this when she's cleaning house. Put on some loud music. Put on this, put on that. And anyway, absolutely it's just the greatest hits. It's great. This is the kind of stuff she listens to in the car on Sirius XM, whereas when I get in there, I turn on Hair Nation. But I can appreciate both. I listen to both. I'll be in the car with her, listen to hers, and I don't change it. I love all of that stuff too. And that's the kind of stuff that, I try to get my band to focus on playing a little more of. The Foreigners, the Duran Durans, the Mellencamp, things like that. So anyway, and then, thanks a lot, Beth, for that. Thanks for having the contest and for making me a winner. Lots and lots of just great stuff. And I try to get on the contest, not so much to win, but to support. And definitely, love to support other people, but it's nice when you occasionally, every once in a while, win. There was a second part of the contest where I had to tell her someone that I wanted to gift a prize to. That name and address has been forwarded, and I assume that at some point they will receive something. I'm not going to mention names, but probably be a video response on their channel because they are video makers. Anyway, coming up, now we got a couple albums that have come in recently. This one I won't say a whole lot about. It's the Striking Once Lost, Now Found. Now, I showed the box set for this just a handful of videos ago because it came out as a 3-CD box set. This was one of the CDs. It is Striking's first Strike album plus some bonus tracks, which I still have not found liner notes that explain where those songs come from. Some of them don't really sound like they would have belonged on the first Strike album, but I'm assuming they were songs from around that time period. The other CDs in the box set were material that was recorded previously, where it was a little less on the thunder rock side and a little more on the rock and even pop edge at times. And some of these songs feel like they might be in that gray area between albums because they weren't quite thunder rock, but they're great. It's great that they are on here. And this album is not just a repress of First Strike. It is a repress of that Lost Found album with those bonus tracks. So I already had the First Strike album, and now I have this, and it sounds great. I listened to this, and it sounds phenomenal. It is nicely done all together. And then the other thing I got is Jimmy P. Brown's Novella 1. Now, I'm a Patreon supporter of Jimmy Brown. Jimmy is the singer, guitar player, mastermind behind Deliverance. If you're not familiar, when I show you this, it was autographed. As a supporter, this was sent to me for free. It's a 5-song EP. It's not Deliverance. It's the kind of stuff that Jimmy does. He releases songs to the Patreon people every couple months. A lot of times it's cover tunes of pop songs, but it's his take on quite a few classic tunes. One of the songs on here is David Bowie. The other 4 are original. But it's more in the vein of the kind of stuff he's done on the pop side, that he does. It's not Deliverance based. That's it, though. Great stuff. Thanks a lot again, Beth, for that and some other new items. And I'll be back because there are some more contest videos I want to jump on too. So I think I'm going to get those knocked out right now. See you later. Rock on and rock hard.